Hey traders, in today's video we're going to be looking at the S&P 500, we're going to be looking at the Dow Jones and also the Nasdaq and what it's telling us right now. Have we actually just made a top or not? Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, before we get started, just quickly let you know that I am running a flash sale, $7 for my entire trading course. Plus also there is another video I put in there, which is what I call the bullseye method. You're gonna absolutely love this. Foundations, chart reading techniques, 2 trading systems, number 1 indicator, so much more. $7 only at johnsflashsale.com. johnsflashsale.com. Now let's get straight into the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones and all that sort of indices. Now we're going to be looking at the first index we're going to be looking at is the Dow Jones. Now we're looking at sort of a couple of years worth of data here on the Dow Jones, and we can see that obviously since the whole virus situation, we found a floor and now we've rallied to the upside. And we can see what's happening here now on the Dow Jones is we've had a rally up. We almost got to all-time new highs, which shocked me because I thought they would have flushed that, got above 30,000 and then possibly ran some stops and then dropped down exactly like the S&P did, and I'll get to the S&P as well. So when looking at the the Dow Jones, we can see that we're still in a very nice upward trend here on the daily chart. If I bring up say 1 year worth of data, we can see we've had a rally up, nice little high low, nice little high low, nice little high low, and you can see when the market makes a move up and it comes down and the market finds support at the 50% level. So let me just bring this off. If we find when we find the market has a nice move up and we draw a Fibonacci level from there to there, from the ultimate low point to the ultimate high point, it comes down. Notice how we found a lot of support around these 50% Fibonacci levels here. Notice how I was that there. It wasn't down to 60% or more. When that happens, it's a very strong indicator that we're likely to continue in that that trend there, or that direction there. So you can see what's happening through here. Nice move up, come back down, and now we rallied back up. So the purpose of me telling you that is like, what is the market telling us right now when it comes to the 50% Fibonacci levels and so on and so forth? If I measure from this low point to this high point, up to there, you can see from this last low here, just like I did from this point through there, up through there, and then that was the 50% Fibonacci level. Measure from the low point up through to the high point, and we can see that, look what's happening right now. We're actually right on the 50. So notice how we're actually finding a lot of support around the 50% Fibonacci level here. It's going to be really interesting to see whether we do hold this level through here, because if we do start to get a little bit of a move back to the upside, we could just be getting ready for just another one of these, right? Run up, double bottom, and then a continuation. Run up, bit of a double bottom, or not the exact same, right? But it's very, very similar, bit of a double bottom. And now we're holding here. We just could be getting ready for a 50% hold, and then before another push to the upside. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. Now, what you want to be careful for is this. Firstly, we're in a big upward trend. So the trend is your friend until the end, and the end is not here yet. We will start to see lows broken first before anything. And to keep it really simple, guys, until we get below my 52 moving average, you shouldn't be selling at all. There's no picking of tops and so on and so forth. So if I bring up, say, 1 year worth of data, you can see what I'm saying through here. Look at this. All above here, you were long, then you were short here, and then as soon as I'm not saying you would go short, but I'm just saying you look for shorting opportunities below the moving average. Once we get above, like we have through here, you're looking for long opportunities. If we start to get back below the moving average, guess what? Now we're going to start to look for shorting opportunities. It just gives you a bit of a probability of gauge and so on and so forth, especially when we can start to get the direction of the moving average pointing in that direction. And as you can see, the moving average has been pointing up nicely since then as well too. So right now, the probability is still to the upside. We may be forming some form of a top here due to the fact we had a bit of a sharp pullback. But once again, if I bring up my 3-month view once again to bring up really close, we measure from the low to the high, we're still holding that 50% Fibonacci, which is a strong sign. Now, if we break below the 60 and we even come back down towards these lows through this point through here, which is around the 26,000 level, then guess what? Game over, because that's the first time we've actually came down towards a low and we haven't created a higher low. So if we do that, firstly, we're below the moving average. Secondly, we've come back down to his lows through here. And then that would definitely be a game changer. So, but if we hold through here, then we could be getting ready for another push back to the upside. Now, that's what I'm seeing on the Dow Jones. Moving on through to the S&P 500. If I bring up my longer term, my absolute long term, and let me just take this off the screen here. I'll get to that Fibonacci level here in just a moment. But let me bring up the weekly charts. And what I'm seeing here on the weekly charts is I am seeing, firstly, in my videos that I've done over the last sort of probably couple of weeks, I have mentioned these three major trend lines coming into play. Now, the first trend line was this trend line through here. Let me see if I can open. Okay, my software just froze on me. But this very first trend line through here. Okay, this very first trend line. See how it actually went to a green? I made it. This very first trend line went to a bit of a green. So this is the green one. And if my software keeps, if I can use my software here for a minute. Let's go software. Let's go. Let's go software. Let's go. Let's go software. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right. See what happens when you cheat your software on. So the first one is, notice how we have this very long-term support level here on the weekly chart, and that goes into a green. So I'm just going. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and then I have this other trend line through to here, which then goes into more like an orangey color. And then I have this other one, which starts at this point here, which is more like a purple line, see? So we have green, purple, and orange. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is you'll be able to see what I mean in just a minute. So firstly, you can see that when we're looking at the markets, let me actually bring this back to you. Come on, software. You can do it. You can do it. There we go. All right. So you can see that all these trend lines came into a confluence or convergence around this top area through here. So it's no wonder, guess what? It's no wonder this whole 3,300 to 3,400 was indeed a resistance level. But look what happened just recently. If I leave those trend lines up, we ran straight up. We actually ran straight up, and look what happened. Complete rejection, 3,500 to 3,600. Complete rejection, and now we're actually starting to back off. So right now, if I go to my daily charts now and open up my daily charts a little bit more, you'll be able to see, let me bring a bit, you'll be able to see the green line, the purple line, and also the orangey line, and that's obviously what I just walked you through just then. So that was actually a complete reversal point. Now the point is, I don't know whether it's going to be the top or not in the markets. I'm not calling top until we start to get some sort of a downtrend in place. But if I look at this market, and I look what's happened, we've had a very nice move up, and now we're actually having a bit of a move to the downside. And once again, if we look at the Fibonacci levels, let me bring this over through here. You can see that if I measure from the ultimate low point to the ultimate high point, notice how the 50% Fibonacci held there, and then we continued in that direction. So if I do the exact same thing, but if I measure from this last low point, because that was the last low point before this move up, if I measure from this low point down to here, and I'm going to bring this trend line up through to there, you can see we're almost at that 50% Fibonacci level now. Let me zoom right in a bit more so you can see what we're looking at now. So we may find a bit of support through here and actually just continue to go for another move to the upside. I don't know, guys, but right now we are in a big bull market. So for me, the opportunities, when I see this in, and not just the S&P, but any stock, for me, I'm looking for long opportunities. I'm looking for buying opportunities. And just like I said before, when we start to get below the moving average, then that's when I'm starting to look for more of shorting opportunities. If I go have a look at the Nasdaq hasn't even actually had any pullbacks. It's just continue little stair step, little sideways movement through here, and a real little rally up. Now, if I have a look at the Nasdaq and look at its Fibonacci's, this was the last low point down here. So notice how we had this high low through there, rallied up. This was the last low point before we rallied to the upside. So if I draw my Fibonacci levels from this point here to this point there, you will see that, guess what? You will see that now the Nasdaq actually has come down all the way down to around about to the 60% level. So we're starting to get a bit more weakness in the Nasdaq than we have in the past sort of couple of weeks, and so on and so forth. Once again, if I bring up my my Fibonacci levels here, you can see from this last low point, and this is just very, very, very short-term Fibonacci levels, but it gives you, when I'm looking for trades as well too, I'm looking to see whether it has indeed. I'm just bringing this to the ultimate high point, the ultimate low point. There we go. You can see how we had this move up. Look at this here, bounced off, hit resistance, bounced off. Notice how we actually found a lot of support around the 50% level. We didn't actually go below. If we start to go below it, then that's a sign to say, you know, caution, caution. But look what happened. Found support, and these support levels, guess what? These support levels came down, found high, low, high, low, high, low, equal low, and then small little high, low, and then we rallied back up. Now we're starting to pull back. So the same for the flip side as well too, when it comes to, you know, for the downside. When we start to get sort of a downside, I'm just trying to find the example through here. Let me go back to the Dow Jones. I'm trying to find the example of 50% Fibonacci retracements and so on and so forth. Let me actually go to this chart. Let me see if I can go to a 2-day for a minute. And I'm going to go back to this point back here. You know what? Let me just leave that there. I don't want to confuse you guys even more. But I'm just letting you guys know that this is what we're seeing right now. So this is the caution sign. The overall, if I'm looking at this, if I look at my charts from this perspective, which is basically a longer term, like a real long term perspective. Let me just bring my little quote over here. I can see that the Dow Jones or the Nasdaq is very, very high right now, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see more of a pullback. And the same for the S&P as well too. The S&P has had a very big vertical move on this weekly chart, so we could be starting to see a bit of reversal. You know, remember guys, this is a weekly chart, okay? So this could take another few months to form out, and then we see something like that. And maybe even in the Dow Jones as well too. So what I just walked you through this last 30 seconds is longer term. This is what could be forming over the next couple of weeks, or, you know, next couple of months. Okay, what I've walked you through majority of this video is like, okay, what's happening today? Let's see what happens tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So that's what I see there, guys. Make sure you grab that trading course as well too, and they'll see you very soon.